Is it hard to start YouTube in 2025? Maybe you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel in 2025 and you're thinking to yourself, man, this is so saturated. Well, for one part, you're not wrong. It is totally saturated. But is that something to completely just demotivate you or, just stop you from creating a channel? I don't think so. I think anyone could start a YouTube channel in 2025 and still be as successful as the top creators like Logan Paul and Mr. Beast. All you need pretty much is determination and ambition, tenacity, patience. Patience is a key factor because you're not going to become a successful YouTuber in like 2 weeks. No, this takes months. If anything, it takes years. But is it impossible? No, it's not impossible. And guess what? It's easier to start a YouTube channel more than any time period. Guess why? Because we have these handy dandy cell phones that already record really, really well. And you could just pretty much press record, post it on your YouTube channel, and boom, you have your first YouTube video on there. That's so simple. Now, obviously, I'm not saying you're going to be a successful YouTuber in the next week. No, by no means, because it takes more than that. It takes more than just posting the video. It takes actually, determining what your niche is, what message you want to portray to the audience, what type of people you want to attract. Your personality obviously plays a huge role, because that's what gets people to come back. Because think about it. There's a lot of YouTubers out there that play video games, but which ones are the successful ones? The ones that have a really good personality. Maybe they're charismatic, maybe they're funny, maybe they're just kind of monotone, maybe they have some certain quality that catches your attention, and that gets you to come back to their videos. So personality is a very, very important factor. But a lot of people also think that another important factor is the equipment. I honestly don't think equipment matters to an extent. Okay, and allow me to elaborate, because this is a very, very complex topic that I feel like there is no definitive answer or something to tell you guys that this is the way it should be when it comes to YouTube. Because when you look at examples like Mr. Beast, he started off with an iPhone. And I think he said he got his first 100,000 subscribers or 250,000 subscribers with an iPhone. So what does that tell you? That you do not need the most expensive hardware out there or the most expensive equipment to be able to record very good videos to build your YouTube channel, right? And that's exactly how I started off. When I started off YouTube back in 2020, I started off posting on my iPhone. And now, obviously, I have many other cameras because I wanted to experiment with different videos. Right now, I'm recording with a Sony ZV-1F, which is pretty much like a low budget vlogging camera that Sony took out. And I've experimented with different other cameras. I have a DJI Action 4, which is like an action camera, the ones with like a very wide field of view. And currently, I just bought the Meta Ray-Ban glasses because I want to be recording point of view videos about my life. So, I'm not saying you cannot go out and buy a really good camera. Obviously, you could do that. The world is pretty much your canvas to create whatever type of videos you want, to use whatever equipment you want. But I'm just here to tell you that the equipment is not really as important as you think. A lot of people think just because they spend $2,000 on a camera that's gonna get them 2 million views. No, sometimes the most simplest videos shot on an iPhone can get you over 20 million views if you just know how to package your content. What really matters is the content. So is YouTube still possible in 2025? Yes, it is. But you have to keep in mind, nowadays you're competing with a bigger pool of content creators. You have content creators literally doing everything under the sun. Comedy skits, real life streaming. They're going and reviewing food. They're doing car videos. They're doing point of view videos. They're doing knitting content. They're doing volleyball content. There's pretty much videos for every single hobby on this planet. So now you need to tell yourself, how are you going to stand out? How are your videos going to be any different? What are you going to do to stand out? Do you want to go mainstream? Then you need to network and collab with other creators. You need to make broader topics that, captivate a broader audience appeal. So, a lot of people think it's just posting and just going with the flow. While that honestly could work, YouTube, if you want to be successful, you need to also involve strategy. You need to look at your retention. You need to look at your analytics. You need to look at what videos do well compared to other videos. I know a lot of you guys just post because you want to post. But honestly, that's not the way. That's not the way, because you need to also pay attention to your analytics. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that analytics is the king, right? Although you need to pay attention, but you also need to have fun, right? So there needs to be a balance. There needs to be a balance of, being strategic and a balance of being passionate, right? It's not just one or the other, although, there are exceptions, right? There's people who maybe don't even focus on analytics and they're just passionate, and their passion actually gives them an audience, or there's people that primarily focus on strategy and they sacrifice passion, but because of their strategy to get views and retention, it could work out, they get views. And I see this a lot because, for example, strategy, you have those YouTube channels that primarily focus on content farming, right? I don't even know if that's a term, but people that just focus on like top 10 videos or top 10 foods in your city or the best moments of Kobe Bryant, right? Videos like that, like automation channels. And they focus on strategy to get you to watch and to subscribe. And, they do that because they're focusing like on a business mindset. So maybe they're not really passionate about it, but because their strategy works, that gets some views, that gets some watch time, that gets some subscribers, and ultimately gets him a very good career. But let's say you go the other way and you let passion instead of strategy. Maybe you're passionate about gaming. Think about Dashie, right? Dashie Games. He's pretty much like an OG YouTuber. A lot of you guys know him, but I would say he leans more in the passionate side. And just think about it. I'm sure he doesn't really focus on strategy a lot. He primarily just focuses on passion, which is him playing video games. And that in itself allows him to show his personality, which, gets him the views and the audience that he is looking for. So I'm not saying one or the other is the best. If anything, in my opinion, I say you should have a balance of, strategy and passion, maybe leaning more into passion because obviously you want to be doing something you love. And that's my whole stick. Like, I want to be able to do YouTube and film videos that I love, that I want to be able to wake up every single morning and just be like, man, I can't wait to record that video. I can't wait to do this video idea with my family, with my friends, with whoever. I can't wait, and that's how it should be. You need to be passionate, but you also need strategy. So it's possible to become a successful creator in 2025. It might be hard, but it's not impossible. And I'm here to tell you that if you haven't started your YouTube channel that you've always been wanting to start, just start. It does not hurt. It does not hurt anyone if you start. If you're worried about what your coworkers are going to think or what your family is going to think, don't worry about their opinions. Their opinions are irrelevant. It doesn't matter what they think. What matters is how you feel, and what matters is that you're chasing your dream. And I say this because obviously I'm doing this YouTube stuff. I want to be able to one day go to my wife or go to my parents' house and be able to show them my YouTube paycheck. That all these years of me working on my YouTube channel weren't in vain or weren't just for me wasting time. It was because I'm building an empire, I'm building a brand, and I want to be able to show them and prove to them that this that I decided to do is actually going to be successful. And I know a lot of you guys could do it. You guys just need to start. You guys just need to muster up the courage, press record, talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about. Pick a hobby, pick something that you're willing to record video upon video upon video. That's why I'm here talking about my YouTube journey, my YouTube story, my life story, my experiences, because I feel like it's something so natural to me. It's something so natural for me to just talk about my life and my journey. And I just want you guys to share this journey with me. I want to document I want to document my whole journey so that you guys can see me grow as a person, because obviously I'm just a normal guy. I'm a 27-year-old guy. Like I don't really have a very, expensive lifestyle. Like, no, like I have a very simple lifestyle, and that's something that I want to document so that maybe you guys could be relatable with me, because I feel like a lot of people relate to this type of content. When you're very authentic, when you're very genuine, people tend to relate to it. So it's not impossible. Just grab a camera, grab your phone, press record. And with that being said, YouTube is going to recommend a video right here. I would really recommend if you watch it, because I'm trying to get 4,000 watch hours and 100,000 subscribers. So if you want to help me out and support the channel, go ahead and do that for me. And I'll see you guys on the next one.